entertainment tonight. Because of that, one of my favorite, if not my favorite person to talk to over the years, has been our guest of honor today. He is the star of Pacific Rim Uprising, wow, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Please welcome John Boyega!
Daisy calls me Peanut because she thinks I'm cute.
She's right!
And I think she babies me a lot of the time. Oh, Peanut. I call her Peanut because of the shape of her head.
Oh!
So we just think each other as we're just two little peanuts in a pod.
Thank you so much.
Something that really changed my life. I went through a process in which I played a part that was a lot like me at the time. When I was young, I was a boy. I lived on a block, just like my character. And we were just boys, you know. I turned 18 on set. I got my first PlayStation. You know, it was like, you know, a boy's dream. And we were filming with, like, you know, stars like Nick Frost. I got to meet Simon Pegg, you know. And that for me was...
Celebration, you have walked the con floor in disguise, but I was just looking at your Insta story, and you just went out there.
Yeah, I had to buy some stuff. I can't come to a con and not walk the floor, so I decided to come out and show the fans some love.
Yeah, how was it?
It was fantastic, it was great. It was great.
Now, we geek out so hard over your franchises, Pacific Rim and Star Wars. Yeah.
Again and again. I'm sorry, I even signed myself, because technically, you have to have all the characters. So like I do the final one, like.
I love it. So, yeah, working with Harrison and Mark and Carrie of course was like the most unapologetic, fearless woman in our industry. Is there any piece of advice that she gave you that you still carry with you, pun intended?
My biggest thing with Carrie was learning by example. When Carrie Fisher was on set, there was an energy because she was so free and not too self-aware. So she warmed everybody up. Because even on these Star Wars sets, we have fans just like you who get the opportunity to come in as extras, and they see, you know, Princess Leia, you know, walking on set, and they get freaky. And she would come and she would just be like, it doesn't matter, I'm Leia, but you know, I'm chill, you know, you can come and talk to me, you can be free. And for me, she's shown me that I can interact with the fans, I can love the Star Wars, you know, franchise as a fandom, and at the same time work within it and be as sufficient and successful. And I just think by watching her, by listening to the story she tells about her own path and how she got there, it makes, you know, especially for myself and Daisy, who were literally unknown and came into this position, it makes us feel comfortable. And you know, it's always a pain, but we're really gonna miss her in this whole thing, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Something that really changed my life. I went through a process in which I played a part that was a lot like me at the time. When I was young, I was a boy. I lived on a block, just like my character. And we were just boys, you know. I turned 18 on set. I got my first PlayStation. You know, it was like, you know, a boy's dream. And we were filming with, like, you know, stars like Nick Frost. I got to meet Simon Pegg, you know. And that for me was, you know, I'm cash.
Oh man. Can we get the DJ with some music? Real quick?
I don't know how quick they can load up.
It's not there.
Yeah, DJ's not here.
Do you want me to sing?
But maybe you probably need to send me an Instagram video of your moves, and I heat you up. Mine.
Okay.
Yeah! Woo!
Thanks so much.
All right.
Are you gonna be on Giant Council?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Howdy, John. My name is Brent.
My one, yeah. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but there's an old school. I think it was British animated series called Watership Down.
Yeah. With the bunnies, right? See, that freaked me out. Those rabbits, there was that big rabbit with the claws, he was just chomping through them and there was blood and all that. That really, I was just like, Dad, yeah, no, don't show me this. But the funny thing is, I'm now in a new version of Watership Down. And I play Bigwig, so which is actually crazy. But that freaked me out. Watch it if you haven't.
I love you, thank you.
Thank you, love.
All right.
Walking around this galaxy with eyes on you, it's a crazy experience. The shipping goes far. I remember my mum calling me saying, John, why are you naked with Poe? That's like a ship, you know, these people they put together. She's like, oh, okay. So it's nice to be able to experience those things in that way.
Oh
it's cool.
my god.
That's what you guys are like.
You must see a lot of wonderfully bizarre fan art.
Oh yeah, I've seen myself in places I cannot describe.
Fair enough. Hi, John. Thank you for coming.
Me and Oscar have this running joke of him saying crystal critters all the time. And he always puts his chin up like this and says crystal critters. Crystal critters, crystal critters, crystal critters. And I do a warm-up with him before he went on set to film with the crystal critters that you see in The Last Jedi. Oscar is very dashing, and sometimes I do copy him. So we had a good old time with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go over here.
Way. And then a guy called Ryan Johnson came to change the game. And now, you know, Rose wants me. Ray wants me. Poe wants me. Hard choices. Hard choices.
I ship it.
Hard choices.
I don't know if all of you have a chance to see the gag reel yet, but there is a moment where you and Ray are hugging and Oscar Isaac just comes up behind you.
Yeah. Oscar can't get his hands off me. But yeah, there's a moment like that, and you know, I know about the Finn Poe ships. I know about Finn Ray. I know about Raylo. I know about all of you guys.
Who do you ship?
Oh man, I ship
God.
Finn and Ray. I really do. I mean, they started together. They were in the trenches together. But you know, Poe's stepping up. Though.
Wow, did you see that? He's like,
You
I
see,
know.
I'd love Finn to meet Lando. That would be.
Where you at?
Be cool. Where you at, man?
Where's Lando at?
Yes, where's Lando?
Are we gonna find out? I hope so.
I hope so. I hope so.
Do you know? No.
I haven't even read the script. You know, I'd read the whole thing to you like it was a bedtime story.
You would? To all of us?
Yeah.
Now, you've been a part of two major, amazing franchises, and I think a lot of people always want to know, if the timing was right, everything came up perfectly, would you do some sort of superhero role, either in the MCU or the DCU?
I would.
R.I.P. your Twitter mentions.
Look, I mean, I've been into meetings before at Marvel, and I'm a big fan of everything they're doing. I think right now, I'm just trying to get over that Infinity War trailer because Jesus Christ. I want to know who's going to die too, because someone's got to go.
Same, someone's going.
Someone has to go.
Someone's going.
Thanos is not kidding around. You know what I mean? And those Infinity Stones, he's packing them up.
Yeah.
No, he's ready. So I'm happy just being a part of the audience now, but down the line, me and Oscar have this running joke of him saying crystal critters all the time. And he always puts his chin up like this and says crystal critters. Crystal critters, crystal critters, crystal critters. And I do a warm-up with him before he went on set to film with the crystal critters that you see in The Last Jedi. Oscar is very dashing, and sometimes I do copy him. So we had a good old time with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go over here.
Turn up. There's something else. We are Star Wars fans. We never believe what they give us. It's never enough. It's never enough. Oh no. I'm gonna expand the theory in my head and make stuff up, so it's never enough.
Alright. I loved watching you play Jake because he was kind of like a, I don't know, like a playboy, I guess? mysterious? I don't know how to describe him. How would you describe him?
I mean, he's no Finn, that's for sure. Like, they're so different in characters, and that was one of the things I was so excited about because I was worried. I was just like, look, I don't want my Star Wars supporters to be like, oh no, he went and done another franchise. What's wrong with the boy? You know, but I wanted the opportunity to do another franchise, but for the opportunity for there to be a completely different character was my thing, and I'm so excited to be continuing in two major movies. And
What
it's
do you
nuts.
think the biggest similarity between Finn and Jake is, and what's the biggest difference? And who would you rather go clubbing with?
Oh, now you're gonna want to go clubbing with Jake. I mean, there's like a party scene in the actual movie, which is crazy. And he lives in half a mansion, and I've never heard of that in my life. So Jake is the cool guy. But in terms of a fight, yeah. See, I think hand-to-hand combat, Finn would definitely put Jake in his place.
He's done pretty well.
She got it.
Well, speaking of Finn, let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. I've seen sabers light up. That's cool.
Quite a few.
Yes.
Some in which you've helped.
Yeah, I have.
So you've swung around a lightsaber, you defeated Phasma, you got the girl.
Yeah.
What's something you're hoping that Finn gets to do in the future?
Next week, I'm actually going to call JJ because
Let him know.
I'm just going to call him, you know. I think Finn needs a jetpack and 2 blasters. I think 1 in each hand. I mean, you know, the bird's eye view, you know, we need some, maybe a Boba Fett can special because I think it's going to be all-out war in this final chapter. So we need to be prepared.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Listen, the future, I know you can't talk much about 9, but the future of Star Wars in general is bigger and brighter than ever. There's so many movies that have just been announced, TV shows. What's something as a fan, you John as a Star Wars fan, that you would want to see that maybe has been untapped?
I would love to see a Boba Fett origin story.
Yes!
I want to know about Yoda, man. I want to know. Who is he? I want to know where he comes from. So I would love to see that. That would be cool. And Star Wars Old Republic. I mean, I would love to see that.
We focused so much on Rey's past in The Last Jedi. Are you at all curious to focus on Finn's in a future film?
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, I've always, you know, one question as an actor being involved in Star Wars that is unanswered to me is why Finn decided to defect in the first place. I still don't understand. I still don't get it. So I would love to know more and to go into his life as a stormtrooper. That would be really cool.
Right, and one of the last things we saw is like Finn kind of getting the girl, him and Rose.
Well, you know, I remember in episode 7 when a lot of the fans were like, oh man, dude, is Finn in the friend zone? And I was like, it's looking that way. And then a guy called Ryan Johnson came to change the game. And now, you know, Rose wants me. Rey wants me. Poe wants me. Hard choices.
I ship it.
Hard choices.
I don't know if all of you have had a chance to see the gag reel yet, but there is a moment where you and Rey are hugging and Oscar Isaac just comes up behind
Yeah. Oscar can't get his hands off me. But yeah, there's a moment like that, and you know, I know about the Finn Poe ships. I know about Finn Rey. I know about Reylo. I know about all of you guys.
you. Who do you ship?
Oh man, I
Oh
ship
God.
Finn and Rey. I really do. I mean, they started together. They were in the trenches together. But you know, Poe's stepping up though.
Wow, did you see that? He's like, I know who you are.
He was really involved in it. I mean, Poe's stepping up.
It's like, I'm Rey, and he's like, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I know, girl. I know, girl. I had to wonder though when Finn and Rose were together if Rey was a little jelly.
Now, did you guys see the way she looked at me when I was putting the blanket over Rose?
Oh, now he's moving on. Wait a minute.
Who's that?
What is that?
So I decided to bring a friend. Everyone is Jonas. I couldn't come alone, so I needed backup. This is my first con, and Jonas decided to join me.
So I noticed we were talking about bromances and love affairs, why wasn't Chewbacca mentioned?
Fair question.
I think Ray should give me time for a cool mission and partnership with Chewbacca. I think we'll make a good team.
I'm good with that, so I guess I'll see you guys later.
I think Jonas is forgetting about Chewie and the porgs, though.
No, the porgs.
Let's discuss. You hate them. Why?
Listen, you guys got the porgs in the best way possible. You got them with the Star Wars movie. You got them packaged well with teddy bears. You know, I saw porgs very with their beady eyes. They look like a rash.
Oh gosh.
So ever since then, porgs have freaked me out. And also, Ryan has a porg. He owns one, and his porg looks dead. Like looks. So
There's
it
one
freaks me out.
here. On the floor, not here.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Okay, well, moving on from the porgs, I guess, but we'll work on this. It is early to think about. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner after this, but in the way that Carrie, Mark, and Harrison reprise their roles way down the line, is that something that you would leave the door open for, assuming Finn makes it out alive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see where this story can go.
Yeah.
We're all emotional